Hey doctor, my name is Willy Wonka and I'm here to talk to you about my business and how I've been feeling about myself lately.
Hi, Willie. I'm Dr. Reed. You can call me Joshua if you want. Would you like to be called Willie, William?
Will's fine.
What brings you here today?
Freeze. Okay, as you can see within the first couple minutes of meeting, Willie introduces himself to our therapist, Dr. Reed. Dr. Reed, most likely in a way to make Willie more comfortable to speak with them and maybe calm him down on a certain level, introduced himself by his title, but then told him that he could call him by his first name, which in turn probably made Willie feel more comfortable to talk to him.
I'm here to talk about how I feel like my business isn't as successful as I wanted it to be because I feel like I'm promoting youth obesity and I feel like that isn't right.
First off, what type of business do you own?
I own a candy factory. It's called the Wonka Factory.
Okay, what do you do in the Wonka factory? Like what kind of organization do you run? Like
We make several different kinds of chocolates, and we also have cool things that we let children experiment with inside the factory if they're lucky enough to get there.
that's interesting. What would you say made you choose a candy factory out of all the other types?
I got into this business mostly because I resent how I grew up as a child. My father was a dentist, and I thought to myself maybe if I do something negative that my father would notice, he would become more upset with me, which is what I wanted, because I feel like my father just kind of left me out to dry for my whole childhood for the most part.
What did he do in order for you to feel that way?
He didn't do as much as I thought that he could have. I feel like my father could have paid a lot more attention to me, and we could have done many more things, just experiences, but my father cared more about his practice than he did than me, and that was really the deciding factor.
What was his practice?
He's a dentist. He's been a dentist for about 35 years now, 40 years, so longer than my time.
So is there any other way you thought you could have gone back at him? Why a candy factory?
Nah, I feel like the candy was the easiest because...
Okay, freeze. Our therapist Josh has been speaking to Willie, and you could tell through careful questioning that he revealed that one of the issues with Willie is possibly his relation with his father. As you can tell, Josh is carefully trying to delve deeper into the relationship between father and son.
So where was your mother in all of this?
My mother was never really around, and I feel like she could have made a big difference in my life if she was, but she was busy doing other things, and she left my father when I was young, so I never really got to know her that well. Like, that's very upsetting, but that's just how it goes sometimes.
So you say you chose this business to upset your father.
Yes.
And why would this upset your father?
Because children get cavities from candy, which leads to them going to the dentist. So my father obviously doesn't like the fact that children have cavities from candy, which is what I thought about, and it was the easiest thing for me to do, easiest business for me to create, because that's how candy's so popular in this country.
Okay, you created this business, right?
Yes.
What do you do in this business in a rough sense?
I try and take care of my workers, but not many of them appreciate me. There's only a select group that actually do.
Select group?
Yes, and they're called the Oompa Loompas.
Okay, the Oompa Loompas. What makes them so special?
They do their work, they do what they're told, they don't talk back, they're great workers.
And if your other
And they
ones,
appreciate me.
if your other workers are so bad, why not get rid of them and keep only the Oompa Loompas?
It's a thought, but I feel like they will feel like I'm against them, and I really shouldn't. I really shouldn't try to be nice, but that's how I am with other people for the most part. I give away too many second chances, I would say.
And would you say you're close to people in general?
Not particularly. I mean, sometimes the Oompa Loompas I'm very close with because they don't say much to me and I don't have to say much to them. Everything just gets done.
But other than the Oompa Loompas, are you close to anyone outside the business?
I have a great aunt who lives in my town who I get along with well and I visit her when I can, but my father I don't really talk to, and I've had a lot of family members pass away, and I'm an only child, so...
What would you say is the cause of that for you to be all alone?
I was isolated my whole life, pretty much, so I feel like I'm an introvert. I like to do things on my own, and I don't need anyone else around.
Freeze. After finding out that Willy had an issue with his dad, Josh delved deeper and found out that he has several other issues, such as distrust between his employees, and the fact that he hasn't fired anyone, and also the fact that Willy is essentially alone. He doesn't really have anyone to depend on, both inside and outside of work. The end.